Welcome back to Reddit Echoes, the place where real-life stories full of drama and surprises are told in the most authentic way, letting you feel every emotion as if you were witnessing it firsthand. Here, there's no fiction, only true experiences from ordinary people, intense conflicts, shocking decisions, unforgettable moments, and sometimes profound life lessons. In today's video, I'll share with you stories that leave those involved feeling troubled and conflicted, and even viewers surprised. There are stories about family ties breaking over seemingly small matters, clashes over money and trust, and battles between generations within a family. Put on your headphones and immerse yourself in these dramatic stories because they are more than just tales. They are vivid portraits of people and relationships in everyday life. Now let's begin our journey into these emotional stories. Story 1. My sister named her daughter Malacesia, the name of a scary fungal disease. Hello everyone, my name is Min. I'm 20 years old and today I want to share a family story that I just can't stay silent about. It happened not long ago and it left me extremely confused, even angry. My sister Ha, 27 years old, was about to give birth to her first child. Both she and her husband had a hard time choosing a name for their baby girl. She was very picky, wanting a name that was not only beautiful, but absolutely perfect. But even close to her due date, and just 5 weeks before the baby shower, she still hadn't decided. My sister and I are very close, understand each other well, and know each other's personalities. I study biology and she is a nurse, so we both have a slightly different sense of humor. At that time, I decided to help her in a very sarcastic way. I made a list of baby girl names, but all were extremely weird, nonsensical names, mostly medicine names, disease names, or unpleasant things that everyone fears. For example, Viagra hernia, and many names related to infections or parasites. I thought she would laugh it off, or at least not pay attention, because I knew the list was just a joke. But surprisingly, 2 weeks later, she called me proudly, and proudly said, "We've decided on a name for the baby, it's Malacesia." I was shocked and couldn't believe it. Malacesia. The name I put on the joke list was now officially my sister's baby girl's name. I quickly looked it up and realized that it was the name of a common fungal disease, and not only me but the whole family is at risk genetically, and both my sister and I had been repeatedly infected. The name isn't just hard to pronounce the first time, it even contains the word ass right in the middle, which sounds awkward and inappropriate. The prefix mal in Latin means bad or evil, which made me even more worried for the child's future. I texted and called her frankly about this issue. I tried to explain the real meaning of the name, warning that the child might be teased, mocked, or even bullied because of it when she grows up. But she said she knew the list I sent was a joke, knew the meaning of the name, and still liked how it sounded. She even said her husband might not know the real meaning, but if he did, he would definitely oppose it. She believed that the name was too unique for anyone to notice the bad meaning. I thought the opposite. I imagined the child hitting puberty, discovering a strange mark on her neck, Googling what it was, and realizing her name was also a disease. It felt really tragic. I suggested she choose other, easier, and more common names like Malalari, Alia, or Anastasia names that are beautiful, cute, and don't cause any trouble in meaning or pronunciation. But she firmly refused, even telling me I was not the parent and had no right to interfere, and accused me of violating her personal rights. I thought it might be the influence of pregnancy hormones causing her unusual decisions. But honestly, I think she will regret the consequences this name might bring to her daughter. I couldn't stay silent and loudly opposed, which caused a tense argument in the family. I also noticed that this name sounded like a villain's name from a comic or Dungeons and Dragons game, or the name of a fictional place in a cheap airport novel. I only want to protect my little niece's future and not want her to carry a burden from her very name. Honestly, I'm very disappointed and sad. My sister, whom I love dearly, chose a name that I simply cannot accept. So what about you? If you were in my shoes, what would you do? Do you think the name is truly as big a problem as I worry about? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Story 2. Wedding canceled after discovering. Fiancé hid nearly $92,000 credit card debt. Hello everyone, my name is Nam. I'm 38 years old, and today I want to share my story. It's painful, but also a big lesson for me. My girlfriend and I had been together for over 3 years, engaged for 1, and planned to get married in a few months. At first, I truly trusted her. I believed we shared the same values and vision for the future, especially transparency and honesty, things I highly value. I'm not wealthy, but I've worked hard for nearly 20 years to build a stable life. I own my own home, have no debts, and have been saving and investing since I was young. I've also witnessed my parents go through a bitter divorce that caused significant financial damage to both sides. So when it was my turn to marry, I wanted to protect the life and assets I had worked hard for. About a month ago, when discussing wedding expenses, I brought up a prenuptial agreement. I didn't want to impose or control. I just wanted transparency and protection for both parties. I made it clear I'd be fair and wouldn't leave her empty-handed if anything happened. I expected a straightforward discussion, but instead, she reacted very strongly. She said, "Are you already planning for a divorce? I thought we trusted each other." I tried to explain that it wasn't about trust, but about protection and transparency. But she refused to continue the discussion. Since then, I noticed she avoided talking about money. More credit card statements appeared in the mailbox, some shared bills weren't paid on time, and she kept saying she'd handle it later. I confronted her directly about any debts, and she admitted to having nearly $92,000 in credit card debt. Not student loans or a mortgage, credit card debt with high interest and an enormous amount. She said it had accumulated over years due to unexpected expenses and some uncontrolled shopping. But she never told me about it until I asked. I was shocked. We were about to spend our lives together, and she had been hiding such a terrible secret from me. I made it clear that for me, signing a prenup was mandatory. I needed a legal commitment to protect my assets before marriage and clarify that the debt was hers alone. I was willing to continue if we could have an honest, fair prenup agreement. But she reacted violently, calling me selfish, accusing me of turning love into a business contract, and saying that if we were truly a team, she should have rights to my assets. She then refused to discuss the prenup any further, and we hardly spoke after that. Worse, her mother called me, accusing me of hurting her daughter, being materialistic and disrespectful to the family. I felt very hurt. I only wanted to protect myself, avoid taking on debt I didn't create, and preserve the life I had built. But things got more tense. After much thought, I decided to cancel the wedding. I told her I didn't want to control or impose, just hoped for transparency and fairness. I offered that if she agreed to a reasonable prenup stating the debt was her responsibility and my assets were mine, I was even willing to attend counseling to work through our issues. But she refused, cried, and said I was destroying everything we had built. Eventually, she moved out, and we barely talked. I lost quite a bit of money on the wedding deposit, and family members traveled from afar, but I still believe it was the right decision. I often wonder if I was too strict, or if there was anything else I could do to save the marriage. But I also know that continuing might mean risking my financial security and emotional well-being. What do you think about my story? If you were in my situation, what would you do? I'd really appreciate your opinions and advice. Story 3. Mother's Day and the battle with the crazy dog mom. Daughter-in-law. Hello everyone, my name is Huang. I'm 64 years old, mother of 3 grown children, all married. Today I want to share a story about a special day in my family, Mother's Day, that unexpectedly turned into a battle between me and my daughter-in-law. In recent years, many changes have happened in my family. My 2 eldest children have had kids, so I've become a grandmother full of joy. But my youngest daughter-in-law, Jenny, is different. She has struggled with infertility, has no children, and loves her 2 dogs dearly. Jenny often told me that her dogs are like her first children, the little ones she cares for every day. This year was the first time I couldn't gather all my children and grandchildren to celebrate Mother's Day because everyone was busy with their own lives. So I decided to send a gift basket for Mother's Day to all my daughters-in-law as a token of love and care. I sent gifts to Jenny, the older daughter-in-law, and even to my granddaughter. Everything would have been normal if not for a small shock. In the family group chat, the older daughter-in-law thanked me for the gift. The other daughter-in-law did the same. But Jenny called me sounding worried and accusatory, asking why she hadn't received a gift for Mother's Day. I was a bit surprised and asked back, and she said she had no children, so she's not a mother, but since she's the mother of 2 dogs, she deserves to receive one too. I responded honestly that in my opinion, Mother's Day is for those who have raised children, not for those who only care for pets. I thought this was reasonable and not too harsh. But Jenny became very angry, mocked me, and insulted me as someone who didn't know how to love or respect her. Honestly, I felt very sad and disappointed. I even called my son to talk. My son told me to apologize to Jenny, send her a gift, and not make a big deal. He said I was being too harsh and shouldn't hurt her feelings. I thought differently. To me, Jenny is not a mother. She's just a pet owner. And her demand to receive a Mother's Day gift caused chaos and even disrespected the real mothers in the family. I don't want to create more tension, but can't pretend to agree with something I believe is wrong. I also feel the issue is not just about gifts or greetings. It's about recognition, the place each person holds in the family. When Jenny wants me to acknowledge her as a mother, I feel betrayed, especially towards myself and my daughters, those who truly are mothers. I also wonder if Jenny feels lonely and abandoned. Is she using being a dog mom to fill an emotional void? I'm still uncertain whether I should reconcile, apologize, and send a makeup gift to Jenny to keep family peace. But I also know that if I do, I will feel like I've lost myself. I want to ask you, do you think I was right or wrong not to send a gift to Jenny? Do you agree that Mother's Day is only for real mothers? Do you think I should compromise for the sake of family peace or stand firm in my beliefs? I know this is a controversial story. It touches on traditional family values as well as new perspectives on motherhood and love for pets. I hope you'll leave honest and sincere opinions for me. Thank you for listening to my story. Story 4. Mother-in-law destroys Millennium Falcon Lego set. Family drama as tense as a tightrope. Hello everyone, my name is Tuan, 38 years old, a technology engineer and father of a 7-year-old boy. Today I want to share a story that made me very sad and disappointed involving my mother-in-law and a seemingly small hobby that unexpectedly caused a big storm. I have loved Lego since I was a kid, and that passion has stayed with me my whole life. Not everyone understands this passion, but I find joy in assembling complex models, especially playing with my son. In 2024, my son and I spent several months completing the Millennium Falcon Lego set, a toy every Star Wars fan dreams of. It's the result of patience, effort, and the bond between me and my son. I often show off this Lego set to friends and guests because it's a source of pride and a big part of my life. In early March, my in-laws came to visit and stayed a week to see the family and the grandchild. As usual, I asked if they wanted to see the Lego set, and both my parents-in-law agreed. My father-in-law was very impressed and praised the time I spent collecting and assembling it. But my mother-in-law was different. She immediately expressed disdain and discomfort. She said my Lego hobby was pointless, childish, and that I should focus on being a real man, meaning climbing the career ladder and earning lots of money. I tried to brush it off, thinking she might be old-fashioned and not understand the hobbies of younger generations. However, that evening during dinner, she pressured me again, bluntly telling me to give up Lego and focus on my job properly. The atmosphere became tense, and everyone fell silent, avoiding each other's eyes. I thought everything would calm down afterward, but it didn't. The next morning, when I went downstairs to the living room, I found the Millennium Falcon Lego set, destroyed pieces scattered everywhere. Alongside it was a small note scrawled by my mother-in-law. This is a lesson for you to become a real man and leave childish things behind." I felt crushed. Not just because the Lego was expensive, worth about $850, but because it was a spiritual asset, a joy and a bond between me and my son. I called my mother-in-law demanding an apology and compensation for me and my son. But she flatly refused, even saying I was too sensitive, too attached to childish toys. I also talked to my wife about it, but unfortunately, she didn't support me. She admitted she somewhat agreed with her mother that I should stop these childish things and advised me to let the past go and be more realistic. I felt betrayed, lonely, and hurt, not only because of my mother-in-law's actions, but also because my wife didn't stand by me. My son was very sad and hated my mother-in-law for hurting a hobby that we shared. The family situation became tense. My wife grew distant and less close than before. I feel this is not just a Lego issue, but a sign of deep disrespect and serious disagreement within the family relationship. I still don't know what to do, whether to keep enduring or make a bigger decision to protect myself and my son. I really want to hear your opinions. Do you think I'm overreacting by standing firm and not letting my mother-in-law come over anymore? Do you think my wife is wrong for not supporting her husband's hobby and not taking his side? What would you do if you were in a similar situation? Thank you all for listening to my story. I hope to receive sincere and helpful advice from the community. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch today's real, dramatic, and deeply emotional stories on Reddit Echoes. Each story offers a fresh perspective, real-life experiences, and reflections that help us rethink how we live, how we treat our loved ones, and how we handle seemingly small issues that can shake up our whole world. If you found these stories meaningful or impactful, don't forget to hit the like button to support me and share, so your friends and family can also listen and learn from them. I truly look forward to your sincere comments, your thoughts, reflections, or similar stories you've experienced. I'd love to read and discuss with everyone. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you won't miss any new videos, as every week I'll share more captivating stories that might make you laugh, might bring tears, but will surely never disappoint. Once again, thank you for being with Reddit Echoes, where every story echoes the truth. See you in the next videos with even more fresh and heartfelt stories.